Yeah. What up, though? What up, though, Detroit? My name is Tommy Spivey, and welcome to another episode of the Spivey Show. And as you all can see, my co-hosts look a little different up here today. Auntie Nisi, she had the day off today because she's out there at the Stella Awards representing for us with Mr. Blue Lucas in the Blue Lucas in music. Blue Lucas and music. They're down there representing at the Stella Award. So today I got a special guest co-host, and a lot of you probably already know who she is. And if you don't, I know you probably heard me say her name plenty of times on this show. But this is my sister, Miss Chantel Jackson.
What up, though?
Is in the house. Make sure you're talking to Mike, like I taught you.
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay. What up, though?
There she go. There she go. She's here to help me co-host a little bit today while Miss Auntie Nisi is out taking care of business. So we're happy to have you here on the Spivey Show. How I feel? You feel like a celebrity?
Yes, I do.
You feel like you made it?
I'm so excited. If y'all see me just laughing, just going on.
This might be an interesting show, y'all. So y'all prepare yourselves today. Well, y'all know this is the Spivey Show. This is where we do live interviews with the best in the business of the world of Detroit and surrounding areas. You can catch us each and every Wednesday at 7:30 on Facebook Live, YouTube, or DetroitHotRadio.com. So you have no reason not to share, like, or comment. Share, like, or comment. Let people know what we're doing down here at the Spivey Show. And today we're continuing on with our new segment, Where Are They Now? Yes, we're continuing on, and I'm excited today because we got a great guest in the house. Well, first of all, let me say this. Mr. Charles Wright did contact us, and he's a little bit under the weather, and he's not feeling good, so he would not be able to make the interview tonight. And I know I'm bummed too, but you know, we got to make sure he take care of himself. So we'll reschedule him and get him back here on the Spivey Show. But we do have a guest in the house tonight, and I'm excited about him. My first guest, he's a man of many hats in the entertainment world, and he's been bringing music to our ears for a long time, near and far. So I'm excited about having him in the place. We got Mr. Butch Halpin is in the house. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Butch Halpin. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. I can't ask you because you can't talk no better than I can talk.
What did you say? Butch Halpin?
Just don't worry about it. Just keep standing over there smiling.
Okay.
Just keep smiling. There you
go.
This is gonna be an interesting show. But y'all know what we do before we get to our guests. Y'all know what time it is. You reading the cue card? You got to help me out. What time it is?
Oh, birthday blast.
Well, say something. You got the co-host.
I know that part for just watching. The birthday blast.
Well, there it is. Y'all know this is the time where we just shout out birthdays of our family, friends, and then even some celebrities that's going on this week. And you got any birthday blasts? Did you prepare for the Spivey Show?
My birthday blast is your birthday blast because we brother and sister. Oh, my friend Mary Lakes.
Oh, Lakes down the street. Same man. Okay, well, happy birthday, Miss Mary.
Yeah, hers July.
You said 13th. Lakes, you threw me off. That's
Washington. She will always be the Washington.
Got you. All right. Well, happy birthday.
We're family.
Well, I guess my birthday blast is your birthday blast. Yes. I guess. Okay. Well, let's go down because I got a few. We got to start off with our uncle. Then.
Okay.
We celebrated our Uncle Kazi over the weekend. He had a birthday.
Hurry up!
Yeah. So happy birthday to our uncle, Mr. Carl Huffman. Happy birthday, our cousin Robert Quick. Yeah. Well, we actually shouted out his son last month. Okay. Robert Quick Jr. So now this month is senior Robert Quick Senior.
Rodney.
Yeah. And then we definitely got to shout out our auntie.
Hi, Mickey.
Auntie Mickey, Diane Huffman, Curtis' mama. We got to celebrate her. She's celebrating her birthday. When is it?
Right on the 15th.
That's Saturday. That'll be Saturday.
Yeah.
Yep. So we want to say happy birthday to our auntie, our cousin, Laquita Turner.
We just saw her on 4th of July.
4th of July.
Happy birthday, Quita.
Happy birthday, cuz. So we want to shout out her and say happy birthday. I got some celebrities going on here. We got Tom Hanks. He's celebrating a birthday this week. Lil' Kim, she's celebrating a birthday this week. We got Mr. Peel himself, Bill Cosby,
86.
turning 86 this
Jesus.
year.
That's a
Yeah.
blessing, though.
86. Bill Cosby turning 86. That's messed up. He was in jail at 80 years old.
What did he do? 3 years?
I don't know how long he did, but he's
Yeah.
celebrating 86 years old this week. We got Richard Simmons.
Okay.
He turning 75.
He went MIA. They've been looking for him.
I'm about to say, is he still doing the exercise?
They went MIA. He just went under the rock. Pandemic hit. They ain't seen him since.
Anybody go check the house or nothing? That nigga just in the basement working out by himself. Come on, you can do it. Come on. And one. And
So they don't know how he look or nothing.
well, hopefully he's still celebrating. He'll be 75 this year.
Oh man.
If he's still, out there, he'll be. Couple more celebrities, y'all. We got Tamika Harris. That's Tiny from Escape.
That
Yeah, she's
means that
celebrating.
T.I. about to buy her another car.
Well, why not? He got the money. He got the bread.
Every year it's another car.
He buy a car every year.
Every year.
Wow.
A different type of car.
Well, she's about to get another one this week.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch Instagram and tell you which one she gets.
You make sure you let us know so we can say it on the Spivey Show. A couple more celebrities. Two of them. We got Jim Jones and then Ballin'. And then we got Mr. Forrest Whitaker. One-Eye Forrest Whitaker. He celebrating a birthday this week. So we want to say happy birthday to all everybody celebrating birthdays. What season is it? Still Cancer? I don't know. Did it change over yet?
No.
I don't know.
Next week.
You don't know.
Because your mama's birthday is Leo, so that's next. That's the end of July.
So what's
it's
this?
Still Cancer.
I think it's still Cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is this birthday? Oh, is that our cousin Chuck?
Chuck birthday.
Okay, we just got word, and my cousin Chuck birthday is this week. We celebrating Chuck this week.
Happy birthday, Chuck. That's my man's right there.
Yeah, happy birthday, Chuck.
Man.
Want to shout him out. Well, look, let's jump into our Tommy's topic because look. Okay, so look, real quick. Oh, you know what? Adrian Spivey. We did celebrate her this week. She's celebrating her birthday this week.
She just celebrated Monday on the 10th.
On the 10th. There it is. Happy birthday, cousin.
Happy birthday, cousin.
There it is, y'all. So I think that's all our birthday. But that's a lot of birthdays this week, ain't it?
July always be full though.
Oh, there it is. All right, look, let's jump into our Tommy's topic real quick, y'all, because I don't know, but my Tommy's topics is starting to grow and grow and grow. It started with just one, then lately it's been two. Today I got 3 Tommy's topics. And we're gonna run through them quick, y'all. Y'all know my Tommy's topic is just a topic that I pick, that I discuss, I give my opinion or my experience on, and then we ask that you chime in. We ask that you give some comments in the comments. Let us know what you think about the Tommy's topic, and give your opinion, and let us know what you think.
That first topic.
So we got a few of them, and of course, number one, we got to talk about it. Miss Kiki and Usher. Now this thing been going on for about a week and a half now, and it's getting deeper and deeper. And
I know. We had this conversation. Are we on the same side or no? Did we?
I don't know. So look, let me say what I'm saying. Let me say what I'm saying. And I'm sure you guys have seen the video. Miss Kiki Palmer. She was in her little booty outfit with everything out. I mean, everything was out. She went to the Usher concert. Usher serenaded her, and they was
in a classy way. For real, though.
Everybody got their own opinion. Everybody got their own opinion. Everybody got their own opinion.
Okay.
And so I want to know your thoughts on it. I know you probably been talking to everybody about it, but come on to the Spivey Show and talk about it. Give us your thoughts. Put some comments in the comments. The boyfriend got mad and he checked her all on internet.
Okay, that's the only part that I really can say. Like, he should not have to check her.
Now that's the only part I have a problem with.
That's
because you know,
because he opened it up for the world to talk about.
I wasn't mad that he was mad. I wasn't mad that he said something he was supposed to. His feelings was hurt. Yeah. Everybody like he just jealous. Yeah, he jealous. Usher sitting there serenading his girl, rubbing all on her. Yeah, he jealous. Every man in here jealous. But the checking, number one, should not been public. That's the only reason you don't do that. You keep the girl up on top in the public, and you check her in behind doors, whatever. And my thing is, the checking should have went on at home before she even left. Because I'd have been like, "Where you going? Where you going with that on?
You going to a swim party?"
So my conversation would have started before she even got to Usher. So, but one real quick thing about this, and we're gonna move on because I got a couple of Tommy's topics today. I seen a video of a lady who was at the Usher's concert, and Usher was walking around singing that same song, "Where's my baby?" And he stopped in front of this girl and went to singing to her. She jumped on her man's lap. And he was like, "Oh, you take it," and walked away. Who was that?
Okay, so you just opened up something. So by her boyfriend not being there, was there a problem?
Yeah, that's still a problem. But we're gonna move on. we
So you said if Rihanna came on you right now and your girl not in nowhere in the building,
I'm gonna be like, woo! I'm gonna be like, girl, woo! I'm gonna be like, girl, ooh, just don't touch me, don't touch me.
Okay.
No, but you know, like I say, everybody got their own opinion and got their own, you know. So I just want to know your opinion. Let us know what you think about it, and let us know in the comments. Real quick, part 2. Now I know y'all done seen it. This video of these parents beating their child for spending $45,000 on video games. I know y'all saw this video. Now this couple, husband and wife, were beating the mess out of their son. In this video, it was a video gaming place, you know, like when you go there and they got a bunch of games set up and you play. So he was in there, he spent $45,000. I'm gonna say it again.
So I shouldn't even be mad about this $25.
I said the same thing because I beat my daughter for about 8 days for $20.
$25 on Roblox with Mathia. I feel bad.
I beat my child for 8 days when she spent my $20 on Roblox.
25 for me. So wow.
So imagine 45,000. And I mean, these parents were beating their kid.
But first of all,
he was screaming.
The thing was, when I did call, they did give me my money back. But when I called Apple and asked them, like, after so long, y'all don't say they don't put a block to it, or
man,
because that's just like my credit card. If I spend and I'm spending, especially during tax season.
Well, I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna stop you here.
Stop my car and say, "Hey, is this you spending like
but
this?"
I'm gonna tell you this though. I'm gonna tell you this. A lot of people spend that kind of money. Maybe not 45,000, but a lot of people spend, like gamers, real gamers. I actually work with a gamer who spends a lot of money on games, you know, upgrades, because games are steady revolving. You know, you can get one game and steady buy upgrades for years. You see what I'm saying? Upgrades and this and that and points and that. And then if you get into like the whole basketball, you got to buy the points to upgrade your basketball player. So it can get real deep, and a lot of people can spend that kind of money on games. So no, they're not going to stop you. As long as you saying buy, they're going to take and take. But give me your opinion real quick, because I got one more this topic. Let me know what you think. You know, were they justified for beating their son like that? Should he have gotten a time out?
They was just shot. That was just like a shot.
That man was hitting that guy. Did you see the video?
Yeah. Like, and nobody stopped him either.
Ain't nobody finna stop him.
Like, nobody stopped
that
him.
guy. And you can tell every time he thought about it, he hit him harder.
How old was the child?
I'm not sure. You know what?
You could never see the child.
Oh no, because you
he was up under the table.
You're not gonna get a glimpse of this child on the video.
So
they was beating him up under the table.
I was just really want to know like the age, like.
And that's a good question. And I'm gonna have to look that up and bring that back up for next week. Because that's a good question. Because all I know, he was screaming. Oh, oh! They was hit the mother.
Think about our parents.
The man, I could look. The mother was.
What he would do?
Oh man, my daddy.
What he would do?
I think I'd have went to jail. I don't know. I think 45,000.
Yeah, I think I would have went to jail. I think I would have.
That's a lot of money. We got to move on, y'all. We got to move. Let me know what you think, y'all. I got one more Tommy topic. We're gonna get out of here because I got some guests in the house, and I just got word of a surprise guest.
Oh, okay.
Today just been full of surprises. Yes. We got you. We surprised them with you. I just got word of another surprise. So we're gonna keep this moving real quick. Last little Tommy's topic real quick. Now I need y'all thoughts on this one. Mr. Drake had a concert here over the weekend. You know about that?
Yeah.
Did you hear about that? So couple of things about this concert. Number one, he promised somebody in the audience $12,000 because he said Detroit took $12,000 from him when he came across the border. You know, you can only bring 10. They took the whole 12. So he said, I'm going to give $12,000 to somebody in the audience. Well, the big thing is nobody got it. So are you out here just saying it? What are you doing?
Probably because when he went over.
So that's the next thing here. That's probably why they ain't get this 12,000. So Drake ended up spending $230,000 to go 23 minutes over.
Yeah, I don't like nobody that bad.
So Michigan has a strict performance curfew. All concerts, everything has to be done by a certain time. You have to pay a fine after that, and then you have to pay every minute.
That was crazy.
And I'm guessing if we count it up, that's what 100,000. 10. What is that? 100,000 every minute?
Yeah, pretty much.
And he spent $230,000 to do 23 more minutes of music for our fans. What you think about that?
That was crazy.
I wouldn't have gave it. I'd have shut it off at 10:59.
Well, look what you could have did with that 230,000 to Detroit.
And I'm sure, and I'm not sure. Okay, so let's say what?
Let's build something.
Let's say he got 500,000 for
He could have
that.
opened up a restaurant here right quick.
Let's just say he got 500,000 to do that concert. You spent over half of your money
to do that.
Man, I'd have cut that thing off at 10:59, and I'd have been in mid-song.
Yeah.
Like, I told you told you when you gotta go holla. See you later.
I would have did the same thing.
But thank you. We appreciate that $230,000 concert. A lot of people say it was a great concert.
Yeah, it was packed. He had 2 days of that. Did you know that?
Oh, well, that's why he ain't mad.
He had Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, he got on then. He got paid.
Yeah, he got Saturday and Sunday, and both of them was sold out concerts.
Oh yeah, and it was what, Little Caesars win?
Little Caesars
oh yeah,
Arena.
he got paid.
Yeah,
he got paid.
I mean, they was the nosebleed.
I don't even know why I'm talking about it now. If I knew that, I wouldn't even talk about this.
Was like $200.
Yeah, he had it
up in the nose. So
yeah, he had it. He didn't care. Well, what that 12,000 at though?
It went towards that 23.
I'm sure it did. Well, look, let's get up out of here, y'all. Let's get into our guests because, like I said, we got some great people in the house today, and I'm excited. I'm ready to get here, and so we can hear their story. You excited about the guests today?
I am.
Good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, look, y'all. Our first guest has made a name for himself for many things all over the world, but most known for his DJing. He's a big time DJ, still is doing his thing. I'm here to talk about it. I'm excited to talk about it. He's in the house, y'all. Y'all put your hands together for Mr. Butch Halpin. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Mr. Butch Halpin, how are you, brother?
Tommy, I am doing fine. I am too blessed to be stressed this evening.
There it is. Look, you already sound like a DJ already. Look. Well, look, first of all, I want to thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you coming on here. I know you're a busy man, so we appreciate you taking the time out.
Well, I appreciate the invitation.
Oh, man, anytime. Now, number one, I want to make sure, am I saying that last name right?
You are 100% correct.
I was practicing, too. I was at home practicing.
Yeah, I couldn't be born with Smith or Jones, just there's that heritage I got.
Hey, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Hey, look, we're going to jump right into this thing, man, because I'm sure the guest is intrigued to hear your story. So look, let's go all the way back to the beginning, man. Let's go from the beginning. How did DJ start for you? How did DJing start for you?
Well, I'm going to age myself, but I graduated from high school in 1976.
Okay.
And one of my best friends, I was a volunteer on the local rescue squad. And one of my best friends was a few years older than me. He DJ'd worked for a guy with a DJ business. Okay. And so right after I graduated from high school, I started DJing with him. Started out mostly just roadieing for him. And then I started, spinning records. It's back in the days where we had our records. And so I did that for several years, and it kind of just took off. I'd only intended to DJ long enough to make money for college.
Right.
But then it kept going and kept going. And then here I am some 40 plus years later, still doing it.
There it is. There it is. So look, man, I know that musically, music was around you all your life, and that was something you were always into. But who were some of the people and some of the people who influenced you, and some of the people you listened to as you were growing up?
Well, I think the first person I ever remember hearing on the radio was Conway Twitty, country.
Okay.
But he was doing rock and roll then. My mother was a second cousin to Patsy Cline, country music star.
Right.
And so I grew up listening to country music from my parents. I've got a sister who's 6 years older than me, and she was watching shows like American Bandstand, Hullabaloo, Shindig, Where the Action Is, the Lloyd Thaxton Show. And then a couple of years later, I discovered Soul Train with Don Cornelius.
And I know that's one of your favorite shows.
It is. And locally here in the North Carolina area, there was a show called Teenage Frolics. And it was from Raleigh, North Carolina. The gentleman that hosted it, his name was J.D. Lewis. I went to some shows that he emceed years ago, and super nice gentleman. And it was like, it was a local show, but it was all for Black kids. And the music just, I mean, I listened to the Beatles and Buddy Holly and stuff like that, but the music they were playing, Temptations, Four Tops, Marvin Gaye, and that's, Marvelettes, all the Motown stuff. That just, it got a hold of me,
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, I had to watch this show every week it came on.
Yeah. And I was doing my research on you, and I know that that Soul Train was one of your favorite shows coming up. And,
it was definitely.
And one of your guys that you love is the Mr. Man himself, Mr. Elvis.
Yeah, I'm an Elvis fan from the word go, and do a little Elvis tribute show sometimes. It's amazing what makeup and fake hair will do,
Well, man, I'm sure that was a great show. I'm sure that. So look, man, you started off at an early age, man. At the age of 18, you were already on the road, man. Tell us about being on the road at such a young age like that, man.
Well, when I was riding with my buddy Larry, he was, like I said, I was mostly his roadie for the first 3-4 months. It was fun. I had a whole lot more energy back then than I do now.
Yeah.
But we I'd go to classes. I was going to Campbell University at the time. So I'd go to, get out of class that afternoon, work a part-time job, hit the road 6 o'clock at night, get home 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, do that on Friday and Saturday nights, get up, be in church on Sunday morning, singing in the choir. I did that for several months. And then as times changed and my father died, I changed directions a little bit, dropped out of college, got a job, worked full time, still dabbled in the music business a little bit. Yeah. But then in 79, I started a law enforcement career, and still, like I said, still dabbled in the music, but just not quite as much. And then 1989, got into radio. And at the same time, I had a partner in the mobile DJ business. And I decided the only way I was going to make any true money was to buy him out. So I borrowed money from the bank on a 2-year note, bought my partner out, and paid it off in 18 months.
There it is. True entrepreneurship. Well, look, man, tell us something about, let's talk about radio vision. Can you tell us what that is and how that came about? Okay. Yeah, I did a little research on it.
You did, Tommy, man. From the law enforcement side of me, says you did your background investigation.
Yeah.
Radio. I was at a radio station locally here, and I'm in Dunn, North Carolina, which is right smack dab, almost in the middle of the state. We're right on Interstate 95. Oh. And I was at a station for a while that changed formats. And the one thing a radio DJ never wants to hear is new ownership or consultant.
Yeah.
Well, we had a new ownership, and they changed format. So the guy that used to run the station I was at, he owned another station in a town about 30 miles north. And his station aired on the local access cable network. You go to local access, see the weather, and you hear his radio station was in the background playing the music. So he came up with this idea of radio vision. And so I'd go into the studio, and we'd turn the TV cameras on me. And so here I was in the studio, just like I was DJing the show, but it was broadcast on local access cable instead of on the airwaves, because it was a sun up to sundown station.
Uh-huh.
So we did that for a few months, and I had some videos of some of the artists I'd play. I'd accumulated some VHS tapes, tell you how long ago that was.
Right.
And I've had some VHS tapes of some of our regional artists. I did some stuff from some Motown videos I had and different soul artists. And we went on, we did that for a few months. And then he finally decided his station was, ironically, was a gospel station.
Okay.
And I mean, they played everything from Southern gospel, contemporary Christian. I mean, you'd hear a song from the Florida Boys and then turn right around and hear Doc McKenzie and the Highlights.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's some singing right there.
Yeah. And so they had a show on Saturdays that was called Cornerstone. It was like a contemporary Christian aimed at young kids type show. And so he brought my show in, and Gerald Waters was the man who owned it. And he was brilliant. I mean, he was a great businessman. He knew that the beach and soul market in that area was lacking. And he put me on the air I came on the air at 1 o'clock and went to sundown to a sign off, which was either between 5 and 6, depending on the time of the year. So the show sold out, and I stayed on that station for a few years until it was sold. He sold it to somebody else, and then during the middle of the day, the power was cut off at the station because of non-payment. So that ended my career at that station.
Right.
New owner just was a good guy, just not a good businessman, and that happens in radio a lot of times.
I hear you. Well, it's safe to say you was going live way before internet was out here, huh?
Yeah, it's local access, but we had fun doing it. It was different. I did not like it because I don't like being on camera like that. Because I'm kind of outgoing, but at times I'm really shy. I just don't like to be the camera focused on me. But we made it work, and it was fun.
There it is, man, and there you is, and you invented radio vision.
Radio vision. That's what Gerald called it.
There it is. Look, real quick, we're gonna move on for a little bit because in 2002, you were nominated for the AM Radio DJ of the Year. How did that make you feel, man? Tell us all about that.
Man, I felt good. That felt really good. I got nominated for that. I was at a radio station for about a year and a half. People always say, well, it's an honor to be nominated, but it really is, because when you think of all the radio DJs in that category that were eligible, and I was one of five or six that was nominated. I mean, I didn't win, but I won, and I've been blessed to win some awards over the years. But I'm not in it for the awards. I'm just, somebody asked me a while back, they said, when are you going to quit in the music business? I said, when it quits being fun. If it's not fun anymore, I'm going to hang it up. And I've been down a few times, but I've not been out.
There it is. And like you said, you're definitely not shy away from awards. 2 awards that we could definitely talk about. Some back-to-back awards, 2012 and 2013. We had the Beach Music Radio Hall of Fame. And then you also had the California Beach Music Radio Hall of Fame. So, those were 2 things you did win. Tell us about that. Yeah,
the Beach Music Radio Hall of Fame was a surprise to me. I get this letter. I'm like, okay, cool. I wasn't even sure there was really such a thing when I got the letter. And then I found out, then I saw the guy's name on it. I'm like, well, I know him. So, and then he sends me, before I could call him, he sent me an email congratulating me. So I knew that was legit.
Right.
And because I thought it was just somebody playing a joke on me. And then the next year, the Carolina Beach Music Hall of Fame was very, very, both of them were very humbling, but the CBMA Hall of Fame really touched my heart and deeply, and made me realize how blessed I am to be doing something that I don't make a lot of money at it. To me, it's not all about the money, but I'm richly blessed to be able to do something that I love. I love doing it, and God's blessed me more than I deserve.
There it is. And that's when you're doing what you love, that's really what it's all about right there. Definitely. Well, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it is, anybody, especially in the beach music market, if you're in for it for money, you're in for it for the wrong reasons. If you're in for it for awards, you're in it for the wrong reasons. My goal is, when I go out and do a show, is to give the best entertainment I can, whether I'm just playing the music, whether I'm singing, whether I'm interacting with the crowd. I just want to do the best that I can and make the people think when I leave, man, we got our money's worth.
There it is. There it is. Now you mentioned, and I'm glad you mentioned it. You said something about beach music.
Right.
And I'm sure people like my sister, you don't know what it is. Explain to us exactly what beach music is.
Well, to quote the late great and a gentleman I'm honored to say was a friend of mine, General Norman Johnson, was the chairman of the board. I worked several shows with him over the years. He was on stage one night and he said something about beach music. He says, now for all of y'all who don't know what beach music is, it ain't none of that Surfing USA stuff. I'll just say stuff.
Hey, this is the Spivey Show. You can say what you want to say.
But that's what General said, And the beach music, it got its terminology from the kids like in the 40s and 50s. They loved dancing to rhythm and blues music, on the race labels, the sepia labels, as they called them back then. And there was DJs like John Richburg out of WLAC that was playing rhythm and blues music. WHBQ out of Memphis was playing rhythm and blues music, and other stations. The parents of these kids would not let them buy the records. If they came home with a Hank Ballard and the Midnighters record, they'd probably be ostracized or something, or beat like the kid who spent $45,000. You're not bringing that in my house. But they danced a dance called the shag. Well, I've read different accounts, and supposedly it evolved from a dance called the Big Apple from a place in New York.
Okay.
The shag, somebody asked me to describe it, and Louis Grizzard, the late humorist from Georgia, he described the shag as the dance, not the Austin Powers shag, but the shag dance. He said, it's like doing the jitterbug overdosed on Valium. It's a slow, like a 6-count or 8-count dance. It's a beautiful dance. I danced just enough to get in trouble.
Right.
But the beach music, the kids, the only place they could hear this music other than the radio was on the jukeboxes at the beaches of the Carolinas and Virginia. And so somewhere in the mid to late 60s, somebody coined the phrase beach music. Okay. And because they associated it with the shaggy music that they heard at the beach.
There it is. There it is. Well, thank you for that explanation for the people like me and my sister, because I know did you learn something today?
That was knowledge.
There it is. Okay. So she learned something today. So that's a good thing. Look, real quick, man. I know people are wondering now, they're probably searching and looking for you. Do you have any social media or any place that a person can look you up and follow you and maybe, see what you got going on next?
Oh, yeah. Thanks. My website is carolinasounds.com. And I'm also on Facebook under Butch Halpin, and also Butch Halpin and the Carolina Sounds Beach Show on Facebook. That's the only social media I do. I don't tweet. I don't Instagram. I don't TikTok. That's all I can do to keep up with. That's all I can do to keep up with what I've got.
They got a new one out. What's the new one on Instagram? No, they got the new one. Threads. What is it? Threads or something?
Yeah,
I can't keep up.
Yeah.
But well, look, real quick. Every time we have a guest, we always ask them to leave just one nugget to maybe an aspiring DJ that may be out there, or an entertainer that may be listening right now, to just leave one little nugget of advice that you can give us.
Okay, sure. I've told this to several other DJs, and when I was filling in with the Blackwater Band for a while, I took this when I was on stage with them. That remember that no matter how famous you get, or how famous you think you are, or how much money you make, how many attaboys pass on the back you get, never, ever forget that me as a DJ or us as performers, we are not the true stars of the show. Okay. The stars of the show to me, and this is just my opinion, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But to me, the stars of the show are the music itself, because the DJs and the bands, we're just the messengers. We're just conveying the music.
I agree with that.
But to me, the stars of the show is the music and the fans. Because if it wasn't for the fans and the people that buy the records, buy the CDs, buy the downloads, if it wasn't for the music fans who book me to do their private parties and so forth, or book the bands, if it wasn't for those folks, we wouldn't have a job.
You're right about that. So if you're wrong, I'm going to be wrong with you, because I agree with you. And I think the same thing right there with you, man. It's about the music and the people who come to hear it.
That's right.
So that's what's up. Well, look, man, first of all, I want to thank you once again for coming on the Spivey Show, man. It was a wonderful time talking to you and listening to your story. One thing we do for all our guests as well, we got something we call Tyus Time. And what that is our cameraman back there, he's also an artist. And what he does is he draws a picture of each guest that's in the house. And guess what? Here's one that he drew of you.
I hope he took 10 pounds off. Oh, wow. Oh, sweet. Yeah, he took some weight off. That's good. All right, that's all right. That's all right.
There it is. Bam. There it is, man. And that's just for you, man. We can have that emailed out to you as well.
I appreciate it, bro.
Man, well, once again, thank you for coming to the Spivey Show. We appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time and coming and telling us your story. You're welcome anytime, man. You want to come back, just let us know. We'll set that up.
I appreciate it, Tommy. Once again, thank you and Chantel for having me on. It's been fun, man. I love the music, and y'all being in Detroit, man. That's the mecca of the soul music, part of the soul music for me. So it's an honor to be with you.
There it is, man. Thank you once again. Y'all put your hands together for none other than the great DJ that's over here, Mr. Butch Halpin. Y'all put our hands together for him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, there it is. How you feel? You got your first interview in? You ain't even say nothing. You ain't help out with nothing.
I don't want to jump in or not. I don't know.
Girl, you got to jump on
them.
them.
You all your cue cards. I'm just listen.
Well, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to do my thing.
I learned a lot, though.
Did you learn a lot?
I did.
Well, that's
I had
good.
no clue what a beach.
Beach music? You ain't know nothing about that?
Not one thing.
All right.
And my daddy was a DJ.
He was. Yeah, but I don't think he was into the beach music thing.
No,
but we have to ask him about it. You never know, though. We have to ask him about it.
Yeah.
He probably know about it. Well, look, we got some surprises going on today.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. We got a surprise guest is in the house.
All right.
Nah, I didn't know nothing about this.
So you gonna have some surprise questions.
We're gonna wing this thing. We're gonna wing this thing. We're gonna wing this thing because we got a surprise guest in the house. And we're just gonna jump right into this thing and see what it is. We're gonna introduce and see what they say. But y'all put your hands together for Mr. Alvin Taylor is in the house, y'all. There he is right there. A true living legend. Mr. Alvin Taylor. Is you there, brother?
I'm here. Thank you so much.
There he is. Hey, how are you? How you doing today?
Excellent. How are you folks doing today?
Good, good. Well, first of all, once again, we want to thank you for joining the show as our surprise guest today. We know you a busy man, so we appreciate that.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be on and asking me to be on as your guest. Butch is a pretty a hard shooter. Come in right after having somebody like Butch on the show. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I've always enjoyed DJs. Some of my favorites were Scott Muni from New York, and Wolfman Jack was a personal friend of mine, and Art LeBeau, of course, Casey Kasem, and the real Don Steele. And you can't go wrong. And with Butch Halpin, you can't go wrong with those guys.
There it is. Well, look, man, like I stated before, man, you are a surprise guest. And one of the things about the Spivey Show is known for is that we do our homework. And we research our guests, and we really dig deep into their profession and what they do. But by you being a surprise guest, I haven't dug anything. So real quick, just for the people who may be under a rock and not know who you are, explain to us who you are, what you do, and why you are a legendary artist.
Well, I played drums for Pee Wee Herman.
There it is.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't take me serious. Don't take me serious.
We watched Pee Wee Herman.
You was the one on the drums on that song?
You guys are trying not to laugh, but you're like, take this guy serious. Well, I'm a drummer. I was discovered at the age for 14 years old. When I was actually a dishwasher, I was promoted from being a dishwasher to the busboy, and I got a chance to mingle with the guests out front. There was a band called the Soul Patrol that was playing at the Biltmore Hotel in Palm Springs, California, where I was the busboy, and the drummer would get drunk and totally inebriated and couldn't play. And one night I decided to let the guitar player know that, I'm a drummer. I had been playing since I was 8 in the church. And you know how these sanctified folks in church, the Spirit of the Lord comes up off in the room, and even the drummer jumps up and starts dancing,
Oh, yeah.
So one night that happened in church, and I'm like, the music must go on, So the drummer jumped up and started shouting down the aisleways. I jumped on the drums and started playing. Next thing I know, people were coming up to my mom saying, my mom's name is Eula. Miss Eula, you ought to buy that boy a drum set. My mom's like, you know what? Why don't I buy your son a drum set? Not my son. But the bottom line is I ended up becoming pretty good as a drummer, and told this guy, Arky, that I can play drums, and that if the drummer didn't, act right, that I would be glad to take his place. So they talked about it, kicked it around for a while, and finally they believed me, and they tried me out. And oh my God, it's a drummer! And he couldn't wait to tell the rest of the band members that, hey, if Ernie didn't act right, Ernie Hernandez, the drummer, that I would be there to take his place. So sure enough, one night Ernie got drunk. He sat out. I asked me to sit in. In walked Sammy Davis Jr., Little Richard, Billy Preston, and Frank Sinatra all walked in at the same time. And you usually don't see that group of people together. But the fact is that Little Richard was just signed to Reprise Records, which was a label that was owned by Frank Sinatra, distributed by Warner Brothers. So they were having a welcome, to the label party. Wow. And the party spilled over from Frank Sinatra's house in Rancho Mirage to the Palm Springs Biltmore Hotel, where I happened to be the busboy. And so when they walked in, I knew who Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. were. I had no idea who Billy Preston and Little Richard was. But Little Richard walked in. He's like, "Whoa, honey!" He said, he came up to me. He said, "When I saw you play them drums, my big toe just shot straight up in my boots. I wanted to scream like a white lady." And he was like, and I'm thinking, "Oh, is this guy serious?" And he was like, "Sure enough, he was serious." I had no idea who he was. But when he said band, I was born on the Indian reservation in Palm Springs, California. And I lived at Section 14, the Indian reservation. So I'm thinking maybe Band of Indians or something. Maybe this guy's an Indian chief. He had his headdress on and all this bandana and all this stuff. He looked kind of Indianish. And so anyway, next thing I know is he was asking me if I wanted to be in his band. And I didn't really know how to answer that. And so I guess he saw that I was confused. He asked me if he could get my mother's phone number and he could call. He called and asked my mom, talked to my mom about it. And I told my mom, I said, "Hey, this guy named Little Richard wants me to be in his band." And my mom said, "You got to be kidding me." I said, "Yeah, he wants." And she said, "What do you think about that?" I said, I wouldn't mind. She goes, "Well, no, you blah, blah, blah." So anyway, Richard called and asked my mom, and Richard, not wanting to be outdone after my mom said, "Absolutely not on any circumstances can he play in your band."
Oh, wow.
And my mom was wanting to find out, I guess Richard wanted to find out what was her concern. So my mom was like, "Hey, he's still in school. He hasn't finished school. So, hey, we got a tutor on the road with him. He's going to be flying with me first class everywhere. He's going to have his own bodyguard. And the main thing I guess back at that time was like, he's going to be making X amount of dollars. These weren't just kind of like regular dollars." My mom, she said, sure. Could you say that again?
She changed her mind real quick then.
Yeah. And it was like, "Well, when do I help him pack?" Yeah.
Right.
So the next thing I know, I'm on the road with Little Richard and traveling. We're opening up the show for Elvis Presley at the International Hotel in Las Vegas. Thus, my career began. I mean, I met literally everybody: kings, princes, queens, imams, just most famous people all over the world, actors, actresses. Just amazing. I met literally everybody and became a pretty popular studio drummer because Billy Preston kind of took me under his arms.
Okay.
And whenever he would do sessions, he would invite me to come, and he got me on all the Motown stuff with Rick James, the Jacksons individually, collectively, the Temptation, Diana Ross, and the Supremes, and the list goes on. And so I've worked with a lot of people, the Group America, Eric Burden from the Animals, George Harrison. My pictures are on the 33 and the third album with the Beatles. Did 2 albums with Elton John, Cher, Billy Preston. Did the very first Saturday Night Live show with Billy Preston, Bill Withers, Lovely Day, the Menagerie album, produced it, co-produced it and played drums on it. Of course, Little Richard, Leo Sayer, Ike and Tina Turner. And the list goes on. I could name many, many more. So that's the introduction and the basic concept of, what I've done. That's not necessarily who I am, but that's what I've done as a drummer.
Gotcha. Wow, man. Well, first of all, let's talk about divine order. First of all, just happened to be the one night you get to get on the set. Little Richard walks in the building, and there your career goes, and right there. So what a wonderful beginning, man, and a wonderful start, man. I heard a lot of similarities actually in my own music career. Same thing, started playing drums, young age, 7, 8 years old, playing for the church, and same sort of deal. So I understand it, and I feel your story, man. That's a nice resume that you have there.
Yeah, absolutely. I was blessed by the best that God's already has always had.
Yeah.
And I have to say that being Little Richard's drummer was a major blessing.
Yeah.
Because people just loved Richard everywhere we went. People were crazy about Richard. They loved him. They loved his comedy. He was really a funny guy and quite a talent, an amazing talent. And so when people saw me playing with Little Richard, when I would meet people backstage, first thing that they would say, "Hey, do you do sessions?" Before I ever knew what sessions were, I was like, "Yeah, I do sessions." So,
I know that's right.
Yeah, a real quick story. I was introduced to basically session work. Initially, the very first session that I did was with Little Richard. He was doing an album called "The King of Rock and Roll." And H.B. Barnum, string arranger, producer extraordinaire, was producing this album, was arranging the album, and he had hired all these famous musicians and people to work with Richard. And I was just invited to come and kind of watch. The drummer on that session was a guy by the name of James Gatson, which many of you have. You've heard of him, but you might not know who he is. He's the drummer with the Watts 100, original drummer with the Watts 103rd Street Rhythm Band with Charles Wright. And he sung the song Loveland. I have heard all about Loveland.
Yeah.
He's a singer, actual singer on that song. Well, I was a fan of James because of, him being the drummer with that band. And also here I am sitting in the studio with him on the drums, and he was like, when I went out and introduced myself, I'm Alvin Taylor. I shook his hand. Alvin Taylor, you? He said, you're Little Richard's drummer. I said, yeah. He said, oh man, glad to meet you. He said, well, where are your drums at? And I was like, they're out in the car. He's like,
right.
Get them in here, and it was against. I seen him talking to the producer, and the producer was like, "No, you're gonna destroy everything. Don't invite that kid in here to play." And next thing I know, I ended up on Richard's album, The King of Rock and Roll. Thanks to James Gasson, I got my start in the record industry.
Wow.
Working with James. So
that's good. Well, it's funny you said that because actually we were supposed to have Mr. Charles Wright on the show today. But he was a little ill and under the weather, so he didn't make it today. But that's just funny story that you just happened to mention his name. He was supposed to be on the show today.
I absolutely love Charles. He's a good friend. Goes way back.
So look, you gave us a long list of people that you've met. Who would you say you was the most starstruck when you saw him? Like who would you say had you starstruck?
Well, none of them ever really was I ever starstruck. I was always about making sure that I thought of myself as an actor, and that whoever I was working with would be the artists that were preparing for or starring in a movie. And my part was to just contribute to the movie. So gotcha. I've always considered myself as just another worker and a person that was being of service to some type of a script. So I never thought about, hey, my God. Well, yeah, I mean, I'd have to admit that, yeah, hanging out with a lot of people, Natalie Cole. I mean, here I am with Natalie Cole. Wow. Here I'm in the studio with Natalie, and here I am in the studio with Cher, and here I am. I mean, I got a call. I'm working with Bill Withers, but I never looked at it from a perspective of they're a star, and as far as I was concerned, I mean, maybe it's my ego or my pride or whatever. I was just as much of a star as they were.
I understand that part.
Yeah, because I had a job to do, and my job was if I wasn't able to do it, then I would end up being, escorted out of the studio or off the stage.
Yeah.
The Sandman.
Right, stage left, huh? Exit stage left.
Yeah. So I never really looked at anybody as being any more important than I was. Matter of fact, I always thought somebody was saying, what was it like working with them? I was like, I don't know. Go ask them what was it like working with me.
I know that's right. Yeah, that's how I feel myself sometimes.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I was very confident, especially at the age of 14 and getting the comments at church, Miss Julie, you ought to buy that boy a drum set. Woo, that boy can sure play them drums. And I thought, I see how this is going to go.
Right.
I'm going to use this to my best advantage. I'm going to be, yeah. I'm grateful that God gave me that talent.
Yeah.
So, but there's a difference between, someone would say that's your gift. I don't think it's a gift. I think I'm the gift. I think God gave me as a gift. I'm the gift. But
it is.
My playing drums is a talent that I have. So I use my talent to introduce my gift, to introduce me as a person that I'm more than just a drummer. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. I'm a leader in my community. I'm a lover of my wife. One wife. Yeah, one only.
There it is.
Not to say that there's anything wrong with people who have two or three, if that's what they choose to do, and that's their religion and that sort of stuff. But
that's expensive.
I don't think my wife would agree to me having two.
Nah, I don't think she would either. I wouldn't try. I wouldn't try. Would you let her go to the Usher concert?
With
her own money.
So I actually would. I just make sure that I go. I just make sure I'm there with her.
You got to go with her. I'm declaring now that if you have a lady or a significant other, you have to go with her to that concert. That's what I think got to happen now.
Yeah, they said that that's why. Say that again, dear.
I said he back in October. We need to go for my birthday.
No, I don't. Look, I'm staying away from Usher in at the concert.
So they said the Luther Vandross.
Yeah.
They said that's how he got his first name, Luther. They said if you let your old lady go to his concert, you gonna end up Luthering her.
Oh wow.
Luther. Luther.
He said he was the first Usher, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. So look, real quick, Alvin, I know you have played behind millions and millions of great musicians and singers and entertainers, but have you ever did anything of some music of your own? And if you did, tell us about it.
Well, basically, I do a lot of commercials for TV commercials, television shows, movies, and stuff like that. Synchronized licensing stuff, for movies and that kind of. But I don't put my name out there as Alvin Taylor, the artist.
Okay.
I a lot of times will just go under different names, or I'll produce an artist and put the artist's name out there. And so, yeah, but as far as I'm probably one of the only popular, or for lack of a word, famous drummer one of the only famous drummers that don't have my own album out. It's not something that has ever been that appealing to me. I've never really thought that, I've always often thought that this whole deal in the music business is way bigger than me, and way bigger than any statement that I, as an artist, independently could make, other than being able to contribute to various different people that I could work with. I didn't want to be stereotyped or known as a jazz drummer. Matter of fact, most of the R&B drummers are totally amazed at the rock and roll career that I, as a drummer, have, and not many Black drummers get an opportunity to work with, the Elton Johns and the George Harrisons and Bob Welch. I did all of the Bob Welch records. He was the original singer from the band Fleetwood Mac and helped make them famous, and then went on his own as a solo artist. And I ended up working and producing and working with him. It was only him and I that did all the music together. Of course, he got the most of the notoriety because he was the main artist, and I was just basically known as the drummer on the album, even though I was a lot more than just the drummer. I helped create him as an artist. I worked with Capitol Records for over 40 years, on and off, as a artist developer, and helped develop a lot of artists on that label, and always worked in the background and never really wanted to put myself out there as an independent Alvin Taylor, buy my album. Well, if you bought Menagerie with the hit song "Lovely Day" on it, Bill Withers, even though Bill Withers is the artist, okay, you bought my album. It's the way I look at it.
There it is, man. Well, I'm gonna say this to you: you're such a humble guy with your talents and with your gift of what you do. And but I'm gonna just tell you, man, you've done some great things, and you've made some great contributions to the music and entertainment world. And we salute you today, and we say thank you, man, because you're doing it, and you did it for us, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. What a privilege and a pleasure, and it's always wonderful to have people like you and involved, where you're able to share about people that people don't know anything about at all. And so I'm grateful for that. Hey, we have a mutual friend, Pete Peterson. I think you folks know Pete.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We do. He's the one who has been a major part in our new segment, Where Are They Now? And Mr. Pete has been doing a great job with us over here at the Spivey Show. And we thank Pete.
What a guy, man. I'll tell you, he's helped my career tremendously in many ways. I was with the Eric Burden band. Eric Burden started the band War. He was their lead singer, which was War's first hit. And when I worked with Alon on the Rock and Roll Gangster, the song, you might have heard that, or may not. That was a pretty big record. Pete promoted us and made us famous. You know.
Wow.
So,
he been doing a great job for a long time now. Pete been doing a great job for everybody. So we thank him for sure for setting this up for us.
Great stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank
look,
you.
real quick, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Look, real quick, though, because I'm sure people are wondering now. They're trying to look you up right now. I'm sure they're on their phone, Googling. Do you have any social media or any way that they could follow you or see what you got going on?
Well, I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
I have Alvin Taylor Music, and I also have Alvin Taylor, which is, but then there's 2 or 3 other Alvin Taylors as well. But fortunately, I'm the only one that's a drummer.
Okay.
So there was an Alvin Taylor who worked with a band called Enchantment, wrote the song Gloria and produced them, and he passed away. But he and I had an agreement because I would get some of his checks, and he would get some of my checks. And we were always honest about it and say, hey, Pete, Al, this I think might be yours. So he was like, okay, well, I'll tell you what, why don't we make this agreement? You be Alvin Taylor on the West Coast and you hold down the West Coast, and I'll be Alvin Taylor on the East Coast and I'll hold down the East Coast. That's what he said. So I said, okay. I said, you're my twin brother from the East Coast named Alvin Taylor. And so I'm Alvin Taylor from the West Coast. He's Alvin Taylor from the East Coast. Wow. And we became pretty good friends. But so he has a Facebook page as well, but he's passed away. Then there's another a hip hop singer, I think, a hip hop artist named Alvin Taylor, who much younger than I am. Yeah. But anyway, if you Google my name, Alvin Taylor, it'll clearly lead you to my Facebook page, my what's also called my PPK, which is my myppk.com. Then it's / and then you put the word get, GET, and then another / and just type in my name, Alvin Taylor. That'll take you to my PPK, which lists a lot of songs and a lot of pictures of me with me and Stevie Wonder together and a bunch of other folks that I played with and worked with. So yeah, social media. I'm on Instagram. So I think it's Alvin Taylor Music on the Instagram. It could be Alvin Taylor. I don't know. Yeah, that's the best way to reach me. Just Google my name, Alvin Taylor, and if you're confused about it, do Alvin Taylor drummer /drummer, and that'll take you right to me.
Well, there it is. You guys make sure you look up the right Alvin Taylor. That's the Alvin Taylor drummer. I only had that problem with my daddy. You know, he's senior, I'm junior. But if I ever got one of his checks, I didn't tell him about it. So. Yeah, when his checks came through, I usually just went and cashed them. But so you guys make sure you go look him up and see what he got going on, because he's doing a lot and still doing a lot. And like, again, we want to just thank you for coming to the Spivey Show. We definitely appreciate you coming as our surprise guest. Usually we will have Tyus time where a guy would draw a picture of you, but since you're a surprise guest, we don't have that. Maybe we'll have him. He just said he'll draw one for you, and we'll get that sent over to you. And make sure you get that right from the Spivey Show. But look, before you go, man, each guest that come on the show, we ask them to give just one nugget of advice to maybe an upcoming entertainer or a musician who may be listening. Can you just leave us with one nugget of advice?
Well, yeah, just believe in yourself.
There it is.
If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Believe in yourself, work hard, never become angry at the work that you didn't do.
Oh, wow.
Don't become angry at the work that you didn't do. If you're upset and angry about something, well, go back and check your work and find out, yeah, well, you know what? I should have did this. I should have did that. I could have, would have, should have, you know. So it's all about checking your, checking yourself and doing the work that needs to be done. Because if you don't do the work, then you're not going to get the reward. You're not going to get the payoff. Always be on time. Be kind. You never know who is going to be in a position to help you.
Yeah.
Had I not been so kind to Clive Davis when he was our gopher in the band Pacific Gas and Electric, I might not have gotten some of the breaks when Clive became the chief executive officer of Columbia Records, and also with his own record label, and not to mention all the stuff that he did with P. Daddy and Busta Rhymes and all the other people, Alicia Keys, and you never know who's going to become what or be what. So be nice to everybody, be kind, be loving and generous.
There it
always
is. And that's the most important part right there, man. So once again, man, thank you for coming on the Spivey Show, man, and sharing your story. You're always welcome. Let us know any other time you want to come back.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you, man. Once again, y'all put your hands together for none other than Mr. Alvin Taylor, the drummer, that is. That's the drummer. Make sure you put the drummer on there.
On the West Coast.
West Coast. Well, look, there it is. A whole show. You made it. Look, you. How you feel? How you feel about doing your first show?
I feel great.
You feel great?
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, we'll soon probably be having you back on the show because you got some things going on over in your life. What? Tell the people what you got going on real quick before we get out of here.
So I was trying to figure out how can I get on the Spivey Show. So I was like, so it's people that did stuff, that's been places, that got restaurants or entertaining. So guess what? I went and got me a restaurant.
So she done went and bought her a restaurant. So you got your restaurant you putting together. That'll be coming out soon.
Coming out soon, called Mrs. Tilly.
Miss Tilly's.
Mrs. Tilly.
Mrs. Tilly's.
Lavish Kitchen.
Lavish Kitchen. Mrs. Tilly's Lavish Kitchen.
Yes.
So that was so you went and got your restaurant so you can get on the Spivey Show, huh? I'm still not gonna interview you.
Yes, you are. So that's coming soon on the west side of 7 Mile in Southfield, right next to the Boost Mobile store, and then we're right next to it.
All right, so y'all be looking out for that for Miss Tilly's Lavish Kitchen. Mm-hmm. She'll be serving. What you gonna be serving over there?
I think my main thing is I'm gonna serve a lot of different stuff, but my main goal is Philly steak cheese. So
you're gonna be known for your Philly steak cheese sandwiches.
I've been doing that since Broadway.
Since Broadway, 6 Mile and Gratiot.
Yeah. So I started
since
off
you was about 12.
I was. So I was in the morning shift and Curtis was in the afternoon shift.
Yeah, there it is. So y'all look out for that, man. I'm sure we'll be posting more about that on the Spivey Show and on my social media pages as well. And once she open up, y'all make sure y'all go support. And because she's a horrible co-host, but she's a great cook. She can cook. So
this was our surprise. I wasn't coming up.
today was a day of surprises. Today was a day of surprises. We had a great show though. We did have a great show. Y'all tune in next week. We got a great show next week as well. We're going to be continuing on with our Where Are They Now? We have a Miss Karen Wolf will be in the place. But then we'll be back to in person. We're going back to in person, and we got Mr. Darnell Randolph, drummer, local drummer here in Detroit. He'll be in the building, and we'll be back to in-person interview. I kind of missed in-person interview. You know, we've been doing the online thing for a minute now, but we'll be back to in person.
All right.
And y'all make sure y'all tune in. We want to thank our guests from this week, though. We had a great time today.
We did.
We had Mr. Butch Halpin was in the house, and he gave us a great story. And then our surprise guest, Mr. Alvin Taylor.
I learned a lot from both of them.
Yeah, they both had a lot of stories to tell, man. Did a lot in the entertainment world. So we want to thank them for being on our show this week. And we also want to thank Curtis Huffman and the Taste of Smoke Barbecue. Yeah, the home of the Spivey Show. We want to thank him. We want to thank our producer, Miss Andrea LB and DetroitHotRadio.com for working hard. We want to thank Pete out there too, man. As we mentioned earlier, Mr. Pete been working hard for our Where Are They Now segment. So we want to thank him as well. And then we want to thank you. We want to thank y'all for tuning in.
Yeah.
We know you didn't have to do it. Share, like, comment, tell somebody.
Yeah, I already told everybody on Facebook, hey, y'all, I made it. I made it.
Did you tell everybody? Did you?
I did.
She made it.
As soon as I get out this chair, I'm about to go to my Facebook and see.
Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. This is my show. You are. I was gonna say you ain't. I'm about to say you ain't no Spivey. You ain't no.
I'm Spivey.
You Jackson.
No. My daddy name is Tommy T. Spivey.
Well, look, we want to thank our crew back there. We got Mr. Will back there on the camera, and Miss Mimi on our sound, always doing their thing. We want to thank y'all. My son came out to watch the show today. My son out there in the audience, Mr. Elijah.
Nephew.
Yeah, came out to watch his daddy.
Name. I always call him nephew.
His name is Elijah.
I ain't even know. I just be like, nephew.
He came out to support dad today. So we want to thank him for coming on out today. Well, that'll do it. That's one in the books. You made it.
I made it.
We'll see y'all. Always remember, y'all, to live to shine and shine on. Holla. See you in the swallow.
It's the Spivey Show. Yeah, what up, Detroit? Welcome to the Spivey Show. Welcome, everybody.